Có thể bắt đầu với pháp đàm. Không biết là ai sẽ là người muốn đặt câu hỏi đầu tiên ạ? Thầy Đồng Tú ạ. Dạ, con xin mời thầy.
Dạ, lời đầu tiên con xin kính chào các thầy và tất cả các đạo hữu trong pháp đàm. Hôm pháp đàm ở Vũng Tàu, ở Sài Gòn thì sau khi nghe pháp đàm về thì chúng con cũng thảo luận về những gì Achan giảng, và ở đó thì Achan còn nói đến cái tâm mà hướng ngũ môn, gọi là cái tâm hướng đến đối tượng. Và bên cạnh đó thì như chúng ta biết thì nó cũng có thêm cái tâm nữa là hướng tâm, là tâm sở. Thì xin A Trang giảng thêm về những các cái điểm này cho chúng con được hiểu hơn.
Tức là về ngũ môn hướng tâm và tâm sở hướng tâm, đúng không ạ?
Dạ vâng ạ.
Là hai cái đó nó...
Cái cách hướng tâm của hai cái tâm này.
Okay, so his question is about the chitta, which is the Panchavara Vachana chitta, the adverting consciousness, and Manasikara as a chittasika.
His question is about the Panchadwara Vajana Chitta, the first chitta in the sense door process. So, as we know, before seeing consciousness can arise, there has to be the chitta which arises after the Bhavanga chittas have fallen away, which adverts to the visible object which has impinged on the eye base. Without this chitta, which is a Kiriya chitta, that means it's not kusala, it's not akusala, it's not vipaka, it's inoperative. Without this Kiriya chitta, the Panchadwara Vajana chitta, the adverting consciousness, seeing cannot arise, and the other chittas in the idol process cannot arise. So, as I mentioned, it's not kusala, it's not akusala, it's not vipaka, it's the chitta that arises and can avert to any object experience, the visible object, the sound, the odor, the taste, or the tangible object, whichever object has impinged on the eye sense, ready for the seeing consciousness conditioned by karma, past karma, to arise and experience the object. So, as we know, Manasikara, the Chaitasika, arises with every chitta. Every chitta is accompanied by at least 7 Chaitasikas, including Manasikara. So that means also at the moment of adverting consciousness, Manasikara arises with it, experiencing the same object. And sometimes that first chitta is actually referred to as Manasikara, a kind of Manasikara Viti chitta. It's like the Manasikara has to attend to that new object with the adverting consciousness in order for the other cittas to experience that object. So Manasikara adverts to the object at each moment. And it's now, but it's unknown because the cittas arise and fall away so quickly. Any problem?
So the first of these, the adverting consciousness, is a citta, which performs a function in the sense door process. It adverts to the sense door object. This means that the sense door object can then become the object of the sense door consciousness which follows. So it adverts, it turns towards the sense door object. The Manasikara Cetasika attends to the object in every citta. So they are different functions. In English, the names are quite different. I don't know about in Vietnamese. I think you have use a similar word for the two realities, but the sense door consciousness, as I said, turns towards the sense door object. The adverting consciousness turns towards the sense door object. And is a necessary condition for the following jittas in the sense door process to experience that object. The Manasikara Cetasika attends to the object which is the object of the citta already. It attends to the object which has become the object of the citta with which the Manasikara arises. And that could be in a sense door process, a mind door process. It could be vipaka citta, kiriya citta, kusala citta, akusala citta. It always performs the same function for a moment, a single moment of consciousness. Whereas the adverting consciousness only occurs in the sense door process.
Aisha's asked me, when possible, to add a bit more detail about conditions for different cetasikas to arise. So I'll just mention at this point that in order for that adverting consciousness to arise, let's say it's the I-door adverting consciousness at this moment, the visible object has to have already impinged on the eye sense. So that means the visible object must have arisen before the adverting consciousness arises. The eye sense must have already arisen because they condition the adverting consciousness by having already arisen. And furthermore, the citta before has to have fallen away. It has to condition it by way of anantara paccaya and samanantara paccaya. It has to be that particular citta that follows, that interrupts the bhavanga cittas. Without the interruption of the bhavanga cittas, there would just be bhavanga cittas all day, all night. So the bhavanga cittas are interrupted by the adverting consciousness, which has been conditioned by the impinging of the visible object on the eye sense. And when it arises, it has to be accompanied by the 7 Chaitasikas that accompany every citta. And also it has another Chaitasika that arises with it. But they all have 7 Chaitasikas. Adhimokkha Chaitasika arises at that moment too. And then the next moment, seeing, which sees exactly the same visible object, which is still there and lasts for 17 times as long as citta. And the eye sense is still there, ready for all the cittas in the process to experience their object. It's the doorway, the means by which all the cittas can experience an object. I'd like to ask him what the interest is in this topic, or any particular point too.
Thì mỗi khi mà nghe pháp đàm với Ajahn xong thì ở Sài Gòn thì thường về chúng con cũng thảo luận về những cái điểm được nghe. Và thì kinh điển thì cũng nói như thế, và lâu nay nghe giảng các thầy cũng nói như vậy, và cũng muốn là hỏi thêm để hiểu thêm về nó thôi ạ, chứ không có cái điểm cụ thể nào.
He said that when you were in Saigon, at every day after the discussion during the day, they also had discussion in the evening and discussing about what has been said during the discussions, and because it was mentioned in the discussion about averting consciousness, and also these things have been mentioned many times in other discussions as well. So that's why they wanted to understand a little bit more. That's it, no particular point.
Shall we talk about this moment? Because what we heard is there now, but it's not known, just heard about it. And the point of listening to the truth is not just hearing, considering, understanding, but it has to be moment of realizing the truth of what is there, just one reality at a time. This is very important. Otherwise, it's not careful considering at all about just one reality. We talk about now, see, any moment. So it can be seeing or hearing or thinking. They are different. But what is there as the chief from birth? If there's no understanding enough, there can never be the understanding of seeing right now at all. Just the word about what is there at moment of seeing, how many Chaitasikas are there, only word, but now, the most precious moment in life, any life, depending on condition, is moment of not just think about it, seeing now, but understand the nature of seeing. Previous life, there's also seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and next life it's just the same as now. There is seeing. If there's no more understanding of seeing, how can it realize the truth of what is heard? That's why there is seeing right now, begin again and again, until it's there known as it is. Not just heard about it and forget about it all the time, even just right now. That's not the way to realize the word the reality which is the chief of experiencing, the chief of experiencing the object clearer than the other realities which arise together, experience the object with attachment or ignorance, different realities. That's why just one reality at a time to understand, no matter what reality appearing, it's just that reality, not me or anyone or anything at all. And this is the ultimate truth. Otherwise, there is always moment of forgotten, just want to understand this or that. But what about understanding, seeing right now? Has it begun to attend to the characteristic of that which now just sees? It cannot think, it cannot like, it's just that which sees, that we have talked about it all the time. That which sees, it sees, but how much understanding of it or what see now? That's why begin again to consider whether there is enough understanding of that which experiences an object from birth to death, on and on, unknown, or begin to understand the truth, not just heard about the story or the way it is. So now, it is so subtle, no shape, no form, no taste, just arise and experience what is there now. Just arise and experience what is there now. Seeing is that which just arise and experience only that which appears. And the moment of hearing is not that moment at all, far apart. And that which arises to hear is that which is now hearing. What we have learned is not so far from this moment at all, but it's so subtle and it's far for understanding the truth, because never thought about it when no one just said about it, like seeing now sees. So the reality which experiences the object is not that which is experienced. Beginning to consider a little more careful now, that which sees is not that which is seen. And in a day, is there any time thinking about the seeing that is not which is seen now, even right now? In order to get closer and closer to understand the reality which has no shape, no color, no smell at all, no things around at all, only that which arises and experience and then gone instantly. That's why Buddha realized the truth and taught about the truth from the very beginning. There is a reality, no one at all. Only that reality which is conditioned to arise and experience the object only, that's all. So it's there from birth. That's why we learn about the moment of birth. There must be citta, not more understanding about condition for its arising, to condition to be different beings at moment of birth. So now, from birth, it's there, but very short. The arising and falling away of each moment of citta is so very, very short. Even the moment of birth is just one very short moment, and then gone, never to arise again in that life, from only one moment of birth. But it conditions other moment of birth, other moment of experience the object on and on and on, just in a moment, only a moment, and then gone. Is this life? Is it true? Because now it's not moment of birth, and not the moment followed the birth after the birth moment has gone. That's why we learn about the impermanence of whatever is there, unknown, because the succession of that which arises so very rapidly, arises and falls away, and then the other reality arises and falls away. Who knows now? That's why we learn to understand the reality which arises now, little by little, that is gone. That's why what is meant by anatta, no one and no thing at all, only reality, condition to arise, to be there, and then gone in split seconds. And this is life. Should it be realized or just talk about? No more understanding. So it's I who understand what is heard. But what is the I again? Buddha taught about the truth of reality is in 45 years, about whatever is there now, from not understanding anything, and there is the understanding, hearing about its truth. And that is not enough, because what he taught can be realized as he has realized. Otherwise, it's useless. That's why now it's time again to begin again to understand this very moment of seeing. But without understanding a little more and a little more, there is no condition to consider it carefully. That's we use the word manasikara, but no need to talk about the name yet. Just talk about that which is the chief of experiencing right now, in order to understand the other realities which arise and experience the object, but not as seeing the chief of experiencing the visible object as it is, as not it's taken for something. See, each word has to be considered very carefully to getting closer and closer to the moment of what is now arises and falls away. Nothing lasts at all. That's the word of the Buddha, the enlightened one. What is conditioned to arise falls away instantly. That's why if there is no understanding of seeing right now, how can there be the understanding of the moment before seeing and the moment after seeing, right? What is there is the reality which arises to experience the object clearly, the chief of experiencing. That's why when we talk about other reality which experiencing the object, but it is attached to the object when the object is there, because no understanding, ignorance of the truth. It's not that which is seen as something, because in life what is seen appears as the nimitta, by shape and form, condition the idea of something all the time. That's why there has to be the understanding of each moment of citta, moment of birth, gone, never to arise again in this life. Because the reality which arises and experiences the object at moment of birth just perform the function of birth. See, each reality which experiences the object has its own characteristic, never be changed at all. Any moment, that which is conditioned to see arises to see. Without hearing this again and again and again, can there be moment of conditioned thinking about it in a day, from day to day? Just learn about the word about it. What for? To be conditioned, not to forget what is heard, that it can be moment of attending to the characteristic of that which experiences right now, the seeing moment, hearing moment, thinking moment. That's why we talk about the reality which is there and learn to understand what is the truth of it, like attending, see, attention, what is there? It attends to that which appears. It means that it also experiences that object, but not as the chief at seeing, but it experiences the same object with attention or attachment or whatever is there, little by little, to understand what Buddha taught about anatta. What is there is real, it has its own characteristic, different realities. Citta is that which is achieved, and the other moment of the reality which experiences that, it's not citta at all. That's why they are cetasika. They experience the same object, arise together, fall away together. But it has its own characteristic, which can be learned little by little as we talk about attention or manasikara. If we don't use the word manasikara, anyone can understand moment of attending or attention, paying attention to what is there, but as I, not as a reality. But is there attention now? Who knows? Because is there citta right now? And other cetasikas are rising. That's why at moment of learning to understand, little by little, that which stays can lead to understand the other which arise together with seeing but does not see, but is attention. Little by little, 7 cetasikas cannot be learned, and later more that it's right now, but it's not citta from birth. And who knows, whatever arises falls away instantly. That's why it can be the moment of considering the truth of citta, the moment of birth consciousness falls away instantly, and even that the other moment, the next moment, which experiences the same object as birth, also arises and falls away. That's why even right now, how many moments arising and falling away? Can any count? Can anyone count? Impossible. But learn to understand what appears little by little from what is heard, one word of a reality at a time. So now, citta is the reality, it's now experiences the object clearly, different colors. If citta does not experience it, how can it be known as it's different from moment to moment? So, what moment there's no citta? Is there any moment no citta? What about this moment? It's a citta which performs the function that the end of being this person is there, never to be this person again in samsara. So now it's just moment of whatever from birth, condition, what is there in life, not dead, not die yet. That's all. That's why learn to understand that any moment when there is condition, there can be moment of attending to the characteristic which now sees. We don't give the name yet, but there is attention. Is that right? Now, any moment. See, who knows if Buddha taught about different realities in a moment to understand better and better a little bit that it cannot be anyone at all because it has risen by conditions and then gone. No one can have such moment that one wishes to have, understanding or whatever, pleasant feeling to arise, all by conditions. What is taken for breakfast, each moment of tasting, by condition. whether the taste is hot or sweet by condition. It depends on other realities, condition too, to understand more about a moment of truth, of different experiences. Citta is there with at least 7 Cetasikas. See, that's why learn to understand what you just asked about, manasikara or attention, that is not the chief at all. It's not the citta. Citta just arises and experiences the object only. But at that moment, who knows what Buddha realized? There must be phassa cetasika, that which contact what is seen to be seen. So right now, what is there is by contact, phassa, just phassa, whatever appearing now, right? But it's not citta. That's why when there is the understanding of citta clearly, there can be understanding the realities which experiences the object, but not citta, not as clear as the chief, which just arises to see, and phassa just arises to contact. Whatever cit experiences depends on contact. Phassa cetasika, one reality, one cetasika, anytime, any moment. But can it be known or can it be realized? Depending on conditions, as Buddha has realized by conditions. So what is now realized has to be by condition, each different appearing, right? Is that thinking now? And the other just sees, see, or by phassa cetasika. That's why another word for phassa is, it's the ahara, the food for what is there to arise. See, understand the no self, no one, the anatta-ness of everything, gradually to have wrong idea about it, to condition right understanding of the truth, stage by stage, step by step. And right understand truly how much understanding of what is there now. For example, seeing and thinking and hearing. And phassa, see, is there any one thing about phassa? Not at all, because just think about that which appears, which is the object of that which experiences it. That's all in life. That's why listening to the truth and then learn to understand who's the Buddha, who's the enlightened one. Otherwise, without understanding of the truth, it's just the idea, talking about wholesomeness, goodness, unwholesomeness, and so on, how to live happy life and so on, but no understanding of the truth at all. That's why not just believe, but consider what is true. No matter from whom, anyone, as the teachers of religion, different religion, but what about the truth of that which is there now? If there is no understanding, useless. But when there is the understanding, little by little, it is like the moment of enrooting the understanding of the truth, little by little, to understand what is there now or any moment in life. So phassa cetasika is not manasikara cetasika. It's not citta. It's a reality arising with each moment of citta. And now letting go a little more. No one can have anything arise at will. All depends on phassa cetasika. Is that right? But phassa is not known, as now citta is not known. It's there all the time. But not direct understanding of the truth of only that which is the chief, or only that which is not the chief, but it's Phassa. That's why we learn about the truth to understand how much understanding has been accumulated. Because we can talk about the word, but it's there now. To understand that it's also there now, like Phassa Cetasika, see, and only one Cetasika, but at least there must be 7 Cetasikas arising together with Citta. At any moment, there must be at least 7 Cetasika. So consider, what does it mean? At least. So it means that besides the 10 Citta, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, pleasant object, and unpleasant object, the other moment, there must be more than 7 Cetasikas. That's why if there's no understanding of the 7 Cetasikas, how can there be the understanding of other? It can be at moment of hearing about it, but it's not the moment of realizing it, when it's not the object of understanding. So now, the seeing, what can be known? Phassa or seeing? To be truthful to the truth, can there be understanding of Phassa, the reality which contact the object to the Citta at that moment? And when the 5 doorways, the whisper object or sound, including the other, all 6, does not impede by Phassa, how can there be the moment of understanding, even thinking? At moment of thinking, is there Phassa, Cetasika? Can we select the object to be object of thinking? Impossible. All depends on Phassa. And can Phassa just arise without condition? Impossible. Whatever arises is conditioned. So what conditioned Phassa to the object of thinking? Sanya, the reality which marks and remembers. It experiences the same object together with Citta, but it's not the chief of experiencing. So it's not the Citta. Citta cannot mark or remember anything because its function is just arise to experience the object clearly, to understand the difference of each object. So Sanya is there, marks and remembers. And in Pali, it is Sanya Cetasika. Is it there now? See, this is understanding Dhamma, not just the word, because the word is just about what is there to be known as it is. So now, it's any moment without Sanya, at moment of thinking, if there's no Sanya, what can thinking experience the object? How can it? But by Sanya, we think about the breakfast this morning. See, Sanya is there at each moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. And we are talking about the truth of this very moment and any moment from now on to be object of understanding. That's why when there is Sanya, the moment of marking, remembering, no understanding, it's I. So what is there is taken for I and different things by Sanya too. That's why learn to understand each reality, to understand Dhamma. not just to hear about Dhamma and understanding that everything is Dhamma. When one is asked, what is it? It's Dhamma. Is that enough? But what kind of Dhamma? See, is it memory? Or now feeling is a reality which arises with each citta. As soon as the citta experiences the object, there is a conditioned reality which feels towards that object only each moment. So many different moments of realities, but they can be thought about the nature as the feeling, for example, any kind of reality, to be just one kind of a reality, because even feeling is different by conditions. Painful at moment of its unpleasant object is there, see, by conditions. Pleasant feeling, see, is it pleasant? This, even this, see, what about the feeling? But the reality is much more subtle than that. Just hear about the word which is heard and careful considering to understand the truth. Just one reality at a time. But there are so many degrees of different ones. That's why never enough at all. Just learn to understand that what we are hearing is about the truth of this moment. To begin to realize what can be known is only that very moment which is there. So now, at moment of seeing, at moment of hearing, what sees and what hears is only the reality which arises to be the chief of experience, sound, to be heard as different sounds. See, all by moment of experience, by the object, the citta, while there are other realities which also there can be known, little by little. But if there is not enough understanding of the citta, how can there be the understanding of the reality which experiences the objects, but different from that? See, so we learn that what we heard, it's just about to realize the truth of what is there as not I or anything or anyone at all. Otherwise it's useless. Just remember the word and talk about it. But learning about it, to know that it's there right now, to be considered more and more careful, to be considered. So it's not citta which consider. Begin to understand each reality as it is. That's why we talk about one cetasika at a time. Phassa cetasika, feeling, vedana cetasika, and sanya. What is it? Not the word. In Thai we have different meaning for the word sanya. But sanya cetasika is a reality which now marks and remembers what is their experience. Is there any moment without sanya? That's why 7 cetasikas must be there any moment. So now how many cetasikas? Phassa, vedana, sanya, and you remember the name. See, what about it? See, it's a cetasika arising with each citta. Is that enough? That's why even cetana is there. Buddha taught about the truth of it, to be considered the reality, which is many words used for it. The will to do, to raise the hand up, see, to drink, whatever is there, by that which we use the word that can be understood as intention. But it depends on the conditions for its arising to be the result or the cause or that which is not wholesome or unwholesome. More to learn about the truth, because it cannot be thought by anyone else at all. It has to be heard and considered whether it's true now, little by little. So it takes quite a long time to establish firm confidence of the truth of no one. Because now, many times you heard about it, it's still I and someone all the time. Actually, how long will it take to let go the idea of something there to be nothing there? Only what is experienced, two different doorways. So now, the Cetana, many words for it, to understand it a little more, as different accumulation for that particular word, to understand that as Cetana. And not just Cetana, at moment of seeing, there are other moments of Cetana too, to be learned to understand. The other moments different from moment of seeing, see? So life is just one moment, experiencing an object of this world. Why is this world? Because it's that which impinges on the sense door. How many are there now? Not just the name, but the understanding of the truth. And this is the understanding of Dhamma, not the word, but the truth. Vitaka? Not yet. Okay. Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Cetana. See, good memory. See, 7. What is known or understood a little more. To be conditioned to understand it when it's there. Right now, to understand it when it's there. Is there enough understanding to condition moment to understand a little more of seeing? Who knows? Just right understanding. Only right understanding is so very truthful to the truth. How much or how little, or just a word, and forgot all the time. That's why now, again, by Sanya, see, what's the next one? Ekakata. Enough for ekakata to go on. Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Cetana. Then anyone, see, not in order, but it in order to be remembered. Pardon? Vedana is there. Phassa, Vedana, and Sanya, and Cetana. All right, anyone. But in order to learn together what is next, to be talked about a little more. Phassa, no doubt it's there. Vedana, no doubt. Sanya and Cetana. And what is there? 7 of them must be there. Yes, yes, yes. So which one will we talk about now after Cetana, Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Cetana? Ekakata. It's not Thai, it's not Vietnamese. The word of the Buddha is in Pali language. But the truth is the truth. Understanding depends on one's own understanding in one's own language. So eka is one, right? Eka kata, the moment of when it's there, it's just one pointed to the object, not two or three at all. Only one at that object, focusing on that object naturally, not as we say, focus on this at all. But it's the reality which is focusing in a moment, in a moment. That's why there are so many degrees of just one reality. So we heard the word about samadhi and so on. But it's that which is one pointed to the object, of focus on the object, different from phassa, different from vedana, different from sanya, different from cetana. That's why one moment of citta cannot experience two objects because of this cetasika, just focusing on that particular object which is experienced. So now, when it arises more and more on one object only, more and more, the characteristic of that we call for it is samadhi, or concentration. So it's now ekakata cetasika or samadhi. See, that's why even at moment of seeing, it's there. Just it's one pointed to the object of focus on it. But only one moment cannot appear as samadhi. That's why when we talk about any word, anything, there has to be the understanding of the truth. What is there which is true at that moment? Can citta be one-pointed or focus on the object? No. That's why learn to have more confidence to understand that which appears only one at a time, as it is. But before that, it takes quite a long time by conditions to have foundation enough to understand it a little more, a little more. So is there samadhi right now? Ekakata is there. So very short moment of seeing. It's seeing only. That's all. This is learning about what is there, which is Dhamma. Not anywhere else, but it's just right now. So, shall we go on to other factors? Chivitindriya, phassa, vedana, sanya, cetana, ekakata. Chivitindriya, what is it? Citta is the reality which arises to experience the object. It is different from that which cannot experience the object because of Chivitindriya, the life. What is that? Faculty to condition that to be living reality. Without that, there is hardness, softness, but it's different from table because there are two kinds of Chivitindriya, Citta and Rupa. So the Chivitindriya, which is Nama, and the Jivit-Indriya, which is Rupa, the faculty of being or life. This is different from that because it's conditioned by karma. At moment of whatever arises by karma, there must be Jivit-Indriya, life faculty, to understand the difference between what appears as the doll or the dog. That dog looks very much like a doll. See, very much, but it's not a doll because of Jivit-Indriya. This one, not a doll, see, but a dog. Because of Jivit-Indriya, Rupa, conditioned by karma, and the Nama, Jivit-Indriya, which life is moment of seeing, hearing, experiencing whatever is there. Almost all 7. Is there any question? Manasikara, a question about it. Attention is there right now. At moment of citta experiences the object, there must be a reality which attends to the object any moment. So now there is sound, the manasikara attends to that particular sound to be understood, the meaning of it at moment of attention too. That's why each moment there must be a cetasika which arises to attend to the object. Otherwise there cannot be the differences between anything at all. That's why no matter in life, the experiences arise together by condition, and they condition each other too. Citta is there. Without phassa, it cannot experience any object. But by phassa, contact, whatever, citta experiences only that object. And at moment of experience any object, there is feeling arising together because of experiencing that conditioned feeling towards that object. Pleasant or unpleasant feeling right now, it can be known because there are many kinds of feelings. So, how many kinds of feeling in a day? Not known that there are different kinds of feeling, but it feels at moment of experience the object. So now, what kind of feeling arises with seeing? We can say neutral feeling. Can it be other feeling? By conditions. That's why whatever is there, understanding or ignorance or like or hatred and so on, is conditioned. No one, it depends on accumulation from life to life to condition even what is there. And there can be a little more understanding to understand when one comes across the term Pakatu Panisya Pajaya, but no need to begin with that, but learn to understand the nature of it, the truth of it, and then the word about it, that is that particular Pajaya. Are there just one Pajaya to condition what is there from moment to moment? Many, many Pajayas. But we learn from the beginning just what is there has to be conditioned by Pajaya.